Good afternoon, good evening, Jar of Marble dwellers and Jar of Marble curious. My name is Linda and this is Jar of Marbles.
And I'm Bob.
Hello, Bob. It's good to see you.
It's always good to see me.
Thank you for that.
That's all right.
This week, I'd like to talk a little bit about why there will always be critics. Criticism is an inevitable companion to any form of significant progress or revolutionary thought.
Yes, a revolution.
If you're delivering life-changing information or pushing boundaries, or even just giving your, opinion, you'll always encounter critics. The reason for this is simple. When something challenges the status quo, offers a radically new perspective, it shakes people out of their socks, out of their comfort zones.
Shake, 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 yeah. Shake, 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 yeah. Thank
you very much for that, Bob.
It's all right. Today I plan on being as useless as a G in lasagna.
Good on you. This disruption can evoke strong reactions, some positive, but many negative.
Why is that? If you're looking for a sign, you can steal one off the road and put it in your house.
People are naturally resistant to change.
Aren't they what?
Especially when it challenges their beliefs, values, or their way of life. As a result, those who present new ideas or are a little bit different or perspectives often become targets for ridicule. And if we are to be honest, there will be things you may criticise too. We all have belief systems, and if they haven't been challenged, you might yourself believe that something is baloney or something that's baloney, but like people who have to criticise people who are in their minds overweight or dress not to their liking or speak how they feel they should speak, we all can be too quick to judge, but we must be careful that we don't make ourselves look like a pork chop in the process. Most people do not enjoy hearing others being torn down. I most certainly don't.
Either do I.
It's a bit ugly and unfortunate.
How boring ridiculing people for new ideas.
I agree, Bob. In fact, criticism is often directly proportional to the impact of the message being shared.
Oh, what does that mean?
The bigger the change or the more revolutionary the idea, the louder the critics tend to be.
Time for a revolution! Yeah! And I hate when people leave their breath behind me after talking to me. Yeah, come take your stench, Godfathers.
There is something kind of beautiful about the fact that you'll never fully know how much good you've put into the world. You'll never know who heard you laugh and it caused them to remember about the joy in life. You don't know who saw you smiling and didn't make them feel so alone in the world. Who already, your words or heard your words and drew some kind of comfort from them. You don't have to be, loud to make an impact. Just being kind for no reason, then just being kind, I think that is pretty incredible. Keeping those moments as sacred just means that in the moments of in those moments of time, the critics cannot be seen, felt or heard.
They'd probably need a cuddle.
Well, they could, Bob, they could, yes. This is not because the critics necessarily see the flaws in the idea, but often because they fear the unknown or feel threatened by what might be lost in the process. Take history, for example. Some of the greatest thinkers and innovators were initially mocked or dismissed. Galileo, for instance, was ridiculed for his heliocentric theory.
Hold the gate, the what-centric theory? Please explain.
The Wright brothers were doubted for their ideas about flight.
This weekend I got invited to a friend's dog birthday party. Damn, what a freak. My cat's getting married, so no can do.
Okay. Even today, groundbreaking figures in any field, whether it's science, technology or social movements, face harsh judgment, even though their work may transform entire industries or societies in the future.
Yeah, evolution is slow, isn't it?
For some, yes. This backlash is not a reflection of the worth of the idea, but rather a reflection of human nature.
Hey, what do you call a constipated detective? No shit, Sherlock. I like that one.
The more disruptive or impactful the message, the more likely it will be met with scepticism, dismissal, or even hostility. However, over time, these critics often fade into the background as the truth of the new idea or innovation becomes undeniable.
Oh, thank God, a happy ending.
Therefore, criticism should be seen not as a deterrent, but as a sign that your work is actually having an impact.
Oh, I likey, yes. Hey, how did the hamburger introduce his new girlfriend? Meet Patty. Meet Patty.
If no one is challenging you or questioning your ideas, it might mean you're not pushing the boundaries enough.
I like to confuse my doctor by putting on rubber gloves at the same time as he does.
Oh. In the end, critics are a necessary part of the process, and often they serve to highlight just how significant the change is that you're bringing to the world.
So, what was Galileo's heliocentric theory? Nice and simple, all right? Take it easy on me.
Well, Galileo believed that his new invention, the astronomical telescope, could help him prove that the sun was the centre of our solar system and that Earth was just one of the many planets orbiting our star.
Oh, so he was ahead of the mutants that didn't understand that, wasn't he?
He was, Bob, he was. So as always, in any of your endeavours, keep going. Even if some people see you as a joke, history will remember the change you sparked.
Some people do not fall from the stupid tree. They were dragged through the entire dumbass forest.
Oh. You know what? You got a point.
Yeah, I know, dude.
People will criticise you no matter what you do. If you succeed, they'll say you got lucky or that you didn't deserve it. If you fail, they'll be quick to point out every misstep, every flaw and every reason why you didn't make it. They're not new. The critics, they've always been there, the jealous, insecure, unkind.
Twisted, uneducated, uninformed
sorts who think their opinion matters. Let them. Who cares? You'll hear it all. Praise when you rise, condemnation when you stumble. Some people, and they can fall into the friendship category. I use the friend part very loosely in this instance. They're the ones that never ask about your hobby, never encourage you, do the bare minimum and tell you about what their friends are doing.
This getting old is a terrible thing. I blacked out for 20 minutes this morning. Then I realised I'd put my hoodie on backwards.
I've done that. If you take a stand, someone will always tell you you're too bold, too outspoken, too passionate, too radical. Godfathers. But if you stay quiet, they'll accuse you of being passive or not doing enough or tell you what they think that you should do. They won't do it, but they think that's what you should do. You'll be criticised for being too ambitious, for wanting more, for dreaming bigger. But then when you take a safer route, they'll criticise you for not reaching for the stars. They will tell you what you should do, what you shouldn't do, what you could have done better, or how you failed to meet their expectations. The truth is, their opinions they just don't define your journey.
No, they do not.
Don't live for the approval of others, because no matter which way you go, someone will find something to criticise. And remember, you get tested the most when it's time for you to elevate. Do not break. I have found this to be true so many times I've lost count. When it's so uncomfortable and life keeps throwing you crappy situations, or nothing seems to be happening no matter how much work you put in, and you wonder if it will ever improve. And it does. Something happens. Something comes along. In retrospect, I was growing, and the critics will have a field day.
You don't care, do you?
No.
Why not in this case?
Well, unless they, the hater, the one who disapproves or the one that's criticising, unless they're in the arena up front doing what I'm doing, then I'm not interested in their criticism. Not a bit. I'm more interested in the blue of the sky.
Yeah, righto.
Just focus on doing the thing. Take the leap, make the move, chase the vision, and just let them talk. Many moons ago, I never realised that people could be so critical. I long for those days. I was living in my innocent wee world, and I have the fondest memories of the elusive wee kingdom that I used to live in.
I was startled by a loud fart. I was fartled.
The haters will always find something to say, but in the end, it's your life, your choices, and your growth that matter most.
Hey, how do you get a tissue to dance? Put a boogie in it.
That is so old, it's got a bloody beard, Bob.
Yeah, I know, all right, whatever, yeah.
Keyboard warriors, the quintessential online critic. They're quick to type out their fiery comments, often attacking others, claiming superiority or lecturing on what people should be doing. They typically hide behind the anonymity and I can't just say it. Let's try it again. They like to be anonymous on the internet. They normally have false IDs and allowing themselves to be blunt or even cruel without facing any real consequences.
Gee, what an accomplishment. Not.
An easy example, someone who constantly criticises professional athletes for underperforming but never played any competitive sport at any high level themselves.
Hey, do you like celery?
Oh, I do.
So you get sudden urges to bite into water and hair in it, do you?
Correct. Asking yourself deep reflective questions is a powerful way to gain clarity and purpose in life. One of the most important questions to ask is, what impact do I want to have?
Yeah, what impact? Yeah.
This question forces you to step outside of your comfort zone and think beyond daily routines or immediate concerns. It pushes you to imagine a broader vision for your life, one that is more with what matches your values and passions.
What about the armchair expert?
Oh, yes. This person is convinced they know better than anyone in the field.
Spare us.
The armchair expert read a lot of articles, watch movies, docos, videos, and follow trends, and they often believe their knowledge makes them an expert on the subject. However, when it comes time to actually contribute, create, or test their theories, they shy away from any real challenge or effort. Examples say someone who critiques filmmakers or directors for their choices in a movie, despite having no experience in the film industry whatsoever. Then there's the perpetual critic. This individual is never satisfied with what anyone ever does, ever.
Oh, whinging Willie.
Yeah, their go-to response to anything that doesn't meet their standards is criticism, while they may be claiming that they're just helping or offering constructive feedback.
Actually, they don't offer that really. They just flat out mean and expect the world to revolve around them.
They really offer anything tangible like alternatives or ways to improve. Instead, their main purpose seems to just be to tear others down.
Have they looked in the mirror lately?
Well, probably not. An example would be, say, someone who critiques musicians or bands, stating that their music is garbage without offering any new ideas or supportive, creative, or supporting creative work themselves, or indeed even being a musician or doing anything of a musical nature. Sadly, they've forgotten to play, to enjoy, or maybe they never really knew how. Hard work to be around, especially when criticising a child, children who are full of wonder and life, and they say things like,
"No, there's something wrong with her."
Tut, tut, tut. That's never something to say in front of me. Anyway, the backseat driver. This person always has a better way of doing things, and they're more than happy to let you know, tell you all about it, whether it's managing a business, handling a project, navigating a relationship.
Or when you're actually driving the car.
Yeah, they're quick to point out the flaws or the mistakes, the tree over in that field over there, even though they're not involved in the actual work or the decision making. Another example would be a person who criticises a manager's decision in a workplace, claiming they'd make the company more profitable, yet they've never managed a team or made any tough decisions themselves.
Oh, there's lots of different types out there, lots of heroes.
Yeah, well then there's the hindsight hero. Funny you should say.
Funny I should say.
These critics always have the perfect solution, but only after the situation has already passed. They wait for the outcome to unfold, then claim they knew exactly what should have been done and criticise others for not seeing what was so obvious in hindsight. So say a person who criticises politicians' actions after a crisis, claiming that they would have handled things better, but never stepping up to run for office themselves or getting involved in public service. Then there's the virtual spectator. This is someone who observes the hard work of others, but never engages in work themselves. They consume content, enjoy art and watch performances, but they never actually ever contribute or create to any of it. They exist purely as spectators, often commenting on what could have been done better or how they would have done it differently. Say someone who criticises a novel or a painting, but have never attempted to write a book, and they've never created any art of their own.
Oh yeah, they're fun. They're too much fun for me.
I know, Bob.
So, it's got to be a burning question.
Well, yeah, I guess. So why does this happen? The phenomena of these arena-less critics can be attributed to a few factors. Fear of failure. It's a really common one. Many people are afraid of trying and failing, so it's easier to point fingers at others than take the risk themselves.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, I'm nodding very sagely here.
That's good on you. Anonymity. The internet allows people to express opinions without consequences. In the real world, these critics might be less likely to be as vocal or harsh.
My elderly uncle said the other day not to piss off old people. He said the older they get, the less life in prison is a deterrent.
Oh, yeah, okay. There's a certain comfort and safety. Criticising from the sidelines is comfortable. It's easy to stay in a position where you're not exposed to the real challenges that come with trying something difficult.
Oh, Lordy, yeah, that's true.
I'm loving seeing people stand up for people who try new things. We need more of this. The bullying that goes on comes from the most unlikeliest places. People who have anonymous accounts, people who spout they're all for love and light, and then they'll rip you a new one for being remotely different.
Hey, I pulled an all-dayer. Went the whole day without a nap.
Go you.
The lack of empathy, now there's a big word.
When you're not in the arena, on the front line, it's easy to forget how hard it can be to actually pursue something or to actually do a job calmly, professionally. Criticism becomes detached from the human effort involved.
Oh yes, that's a fine point you make there. I always start my day with the best intentions and a positive attitude, and then people happen.
Yeah. Criticising from the sidelines often diminishes the value of actual efforts. People who are out there trying, whether they succeed or fail, they deserve the acknowledgement for their bravery and their risk-taking.
You was going to say risk-taking.
Yeah, well, I was, and I probably did. Anyway, it's much easier to sit back and tear down someone else's work than to create your own and expose that to the world. For those in the arena, it can feel discouraging or demotivating when their efforts are overshadowed by constant criticisms from people who aren't contributing anything of their own.
Oh, a massive yawn.
For sure, Bob.
And I think...
Yes, what do you think?
Well, I think quite often, what's a beautiful genius like me doing on a planet like this anyway?
Bringing us joy, Bob. Bringing us joy.
I try not to laugh at my own jokes, but we all know I'm pretty hilarious.
That you can be.
I am.
Righto. If you find yourself caught in the role of a keyboard warrior or armchair critic, it's worth considering what you're really contributing to the conversation. Are you helping to lift others up with your feedback, or are you simply adding noise? Is it because you're not receiving any appreciation of what you do at work or what you're doing out in the world, so you've given up for 5 minutes and out there for a bit of an attack?
Well, I'd say it's just noise.
There's always room to shift from being a critic to being someone who engages, creates, and participates in meaningful ways.
Or scroll on.
Yeah. Another question that often arises along this is, am I letting my fear of criticism stop me?
Wow. Why an applause?
Because it's a big one. It really is. Fear of criticism is a natural human instinct, but it can hold you back from pursuing meaningful goals or taking action. We can be so afraid of failure. The fear of being judged or scorned by others often keeps us silent or stagnant, but that is a very immobile feeling.
Break out, break out.
But here's the reality. No one is exempt from criticism. If you're truly striving for growth or sway, you're bound to face it at some point. The real question then is whether you'll let that fear control you or whether you'll rise above it.
At my funeral, take the bouquet off my coffin and throw it into the crowd and sit just to see who's next.
Yeah, right. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I thought so.
And perhaps the most profound question of all is, why do you care so much? This isn't just about the fear of judgment, but examining the root of your emotions.
Geez, who does that anyway?
What? Examine their own emotions?
Yeah.
Well, maybe if we did a little bit more of that, people who want to grow and better themselves will.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Sometimes it's just about realising that the opinions of others really don't define your worth. The need for external validation can be a subtle trap, but when you can let go of the pressure to be perfect in others' eyes, you free yourself to make the impact you want. Very liberating. Small changes often feel insignificant in the moment, but they are the building blocks for lasting breakthroughs.
I did a cartwheel the other day thinking it was like riding a bike. It is not.
No, they are not. With small changes, this is true in personal development, business, and even in nature. Innovation, a seemingly minor adjustment, a shift in perspective, a tweak in process, or the beginning of a new habit can snowball over time, setting the stage for breakthroughs. Such good stuff.
Turns out old age is a thing.
Oh, is it? Tell me all about it, Bob.
Well, yeah. Last night I was in bed for 20 minutes when I heard the pizza guy cough. Then I remembered I came to a room to get my wallet.
When we focus on incremental improvements, we create the introductions for something larger. For instance, when we commit to a small, consistent effort like reading a few pages each day of a book or exercising for 10 minutes, those actions compound. Over time, they create significant personal growth, be it in knowledge, health, or confidence. You just feel so much better, a certain peacefulness inside yourself. And as we all know, each little step adds up. And before we know it, we've reached a place we once thought was so far out of reach.
Yeah!
That's right. You can do it.
You know, I went to McDonald's today and I ate a kid's meal. It was good, but his mother was furious.
Oh, Bob. In the world of business and innovation, small changes are the key to staying ahead. A company might experiment with a slight shift in its product design, tweak its marketing approach, or refine its customer service process.
Hey, when is it too late to have a baby shower? Because my mum never had one when she was pregnant with me, and I need some clothes.
While these changes might seem minor in isolation, they can lead to a breakthrough in many ways, dependent upon what it is you're aiming for.
Now, that is right.
The key takeaway is that breakthroughs rarely happen overnight.
Well, that's a bit of a shame.
There's lots of lies we tell ourselves, isn't there? You know, like, I'm not ready yet, or what if I fail? It's too risky. Risk is often so exaggerated in our minds. And I'm too tired to get up early to start my day happier, going to be late, snapping at the kids. What will others think? I will not be good enough. I'm not good enough. I'll be happier if I stay where I am. The courage to take the leap, you know, really, the doing is so much simpler than the worrying over it. We do tend to, as a society, embrace imperfection, or rather, we embrace perfection. And I'm saying we should embrace imperfection. Courage comes when we realise that perfection is a myth.
It's a myth, I tells you. Does anyone make real mashed potatoes instead of making them for a box?
Well, that's a bit random.
Well, I was just sort of thinking about it.
You can reframe failure. Changing how we see failure can unlock a whole new level of courage. Trust yourself. Building self-belief is key to taking that leap. And a successful leap requires a leap of faith in yourself. Taking small steps. That leap doesn't have to be giant. It can be a series of little mini steps, baby steps. Focus on what you can control. Fear often just comes from the unknown, doesn't it? Remember the why. When the fear of taking the leap becomes overwhelming, remembering why you want to make the change can reignite your passion, push past the lies and excuses. It's important to recognise that criticism often says more about the critic than the person being criticised. Oh, yeah, so true.
That's right, yeah, absolutely.
However, instead of letting those voices weigh you down, use them as fuel. The fact that people are paying attention to what you're doing, even in a negative way, is a sign that you're making an impact. Critics can only critique. They can't create.
How about that?
Yeah, how about that? The truth is that for those who are out there working, building and creating, there will always be someone on the sidelines ready to criticise. But that shouldn't stop you, because while they snare, you're the one actually doing, and that, in the end, is what counts. And that's the end of another episode.
Surely not.
It is. So, say good day to your friends for me. Give the canary a poodle, and we'll see you next time, okay? Okay then, bye.
Bye.